What's up, guys? It's Carl Choi, Collecting of Carl. We're back. This is another episode of The Gallery with a very good friend. Now, this guy is different. I mean, he is so different that we're going to do two episodes. So this is going to be the first time where we're going to showcase two very different episodes, but just one person. Now, Mr. George Hage, he's a self-taught artist and songwriter out of North Carolina, and he fronts the band Jack the Radio. And, you know, when he collects, he doesn't really collect like most collectors. In fact, I think he organizes his collection with like a sixth sense. So without further ado, let's bring George here. What's up, George?
Hey, buddy. Good to see you.
Likewise, as always. How is the weather in North Carolina?
We are actually having a unusually beautiful summer day. It's usually sweaty and sweltering, but we got a little overcast, so it's been actually beautiful this week.
Well, I can't say the same about Southern California. It's so hot right now. I'm nonstop drinking water, and I feel like my throat is as dry as ever. But with all that said, you could collect anything in life, but why build a whole collection around, you know, music and design?
Oh man, yeah, I've been collecting for years, so I feel like every few years my focus changes a little bit. But have been playing music for like 20 plus years. Have loved comics since I was a kid, and realized that there's this intersection between music and comics. It took me a few years to figure that out. But once I realized that, I started looking. And once you start looking for something, I'm sure you know this, having collected for several years now, you start to find things. So I have been very fortunate to find some music-related comic art or comic-related music art.
Yeah, we're going to dive into that. We're going to definitely dive into your love for music. I mean, you're in it. I was in it. And because I was in it, I kind of want to do something a little different with this episode, because I do feel you when you talk about how a lot of times visually, sometimes the music comes to mind. And as you guys know, YouTube would kill us if we started playing some of these songs that are paired up with some of your art. And so they would maybe take this video down and whatnot, or like shut it down. We don't want that to happen. So George was nice enough to create a playlist for the show today. So go into the comments, go into the description, and you'll find the whole playlist of all the songs that go along with the pieces that we're going to go over today. But the exercise I'm bringing to the table is I am doing a little bit of music supervision. So I didn't have time to do all the pieces, but I will do the first couple and then maybe the last one. So how you feel about that, George? We're going to do some listening session.
I love it, man. I love we're melding all the worlds together with your film side, with the music supervision. This is great.
I'm excited. So number one, so you know what piece we're about to bring out. So let's vibe to the song a little bit, and then feel free to bring the piece out when it's time. All right, let's go.
Oh man, it made me want to play air drums. So that's a good sign.
Darwyn Cooke, let's bring it up. Let's show the art.
I mean, how cool is that? That's shot down there. You got the motorcycle, Dupe on the back.
All right, keep the art up. So that was exercise number one. Now, Darwyn Cooke was a modern master. He's known for his clean retro style. And New Frontier is a classic. And so, you know, he passed about exactly 10 years ago. So any Cooke page is a collectible in itself. So what makes you, you know, what about this piece that made you, you know, kind of highlight this as like top of the collection?
I mean, I had been on the lookout for a Darwyn piece. It's not easy to find. And when you do find it, usually the price isn't always super awesome. But big fan of Wolverine. One of the other things I love is Wolverine on a motorcycle. So this was Darwyn. This was Wolverine. This was Logan on a motorcycle. You got Dupe on the back. And then a fun little hidden gem in here is this Silver Dollar Room is an actual place in Canada that I think I read it'd been there since the 50s and was known for bringing like rock and R&B to the area. So I think the band we picked for the playlist was the Pixies. Had actually played at this place. I think it's since closed, but they reopened it in a new location. But I just thought that was a cool little kind of hidden thing in the page that he added in there.
That is freaking cool, dude. I didn't see that panel, so it's great you pointed it out.
It's just so fun, man.
How did you know the Pixies played there? Was it something that you researched, or it just came up?
Well, no, it's like, somebody had mentioned that wasn't like a real place. So I Googled the place and discovered it's like kind of a legendary spot in the town in Canada. So I love that he put it in there. And then reading up about the venue, some pretty big bands went through there. So I just thought that was a really cool like addition to an already awesome page of art and storytelling.
Dude, that is badassery to the fullest. That one. No, Darwyn, he's he's definitely on my list. He's not in like a major part of my list because I don't have as much nostalgia, but it's on there. Yeah. And so, congrats on that one. So this next one, actually, I think is the one in your collection that spoke to me the most because, I came from hip hop. I spent a decade, managing talent in that space. And so with that said, I'm going to play a little bit of a track. And then when you feel like it, feel free to bring it up. But let's vibe to it a little bit. This is the kind of stuff I listen to in the studio more so during my time in music.
This one's large. I'm going to try and keep it in slow.
Yeah.
Woo! I get the play out of there.
Oh. No.
I mean, how cool is that, man?
Ooh, there we go. We'll fade it out. But what's this? What are we looking at, man? We got Czarface, MF Doom.
Yeah, this is a special one. This is L'Amour Supreme artwork. Killer artist. Has worked with Czarface from the beginning. I think worked with them to create this Czarface character. To me, he's as much a part of the band as 7L and Esoteric, Inspector Deck. They're the sound part of the band, but L'Amour is the visual part of the band. He has a background in comics. He did Zen the Intergalactic Ninja in the 90s, and then got more on the like mural side, kind of pop art, music side. Every time they put out an album, I'm stoked to see the cover art. This was a special collab. This came out shortly after MF Doom's passing. So it was like some of the first music after his passing that they had worked on. So it just a special piece. I think even cooler, they do a lot of homage covers. So this is a sick homage. I think it's Daredevil 216, a Dave Mazzucchelli cover. Just love the spin on that. But you got MF Doom at the top here, the crazy cool lettering, Czarface in there. Was stoked to find this one.
Amazing, dude. This thing really, really.
It's huge.
I didn't know it was that big, man. And then, break into action is the song. I mean, this was the art for the song, right?
It's for the album. It's called Super What is the record.
Okay.
But that song that's on the playlist is from the record.
Yes, and then. How did you land this now? Was it something that you chased after when you saw it on the cover, or did you come across it somewhere?
No, I have been following L'Amour on Instagram for years. So periodically I'd ask him if he had any of his art for sale. He occasionally sells stuff, but he'll do gallery shows a lot. He's up in New York, so he does a lot of gallery shows up there. But over the years, kind of reaching out, like, do you have this? Would you ever sell this? So when this popped up, jumped at the chance to own it.
Dude, because to me, Czarface and MF Doom, their whole aesthetics is built on comics. And so for you to grab a piece like this, it's pretty legendary, man.
I was stoked on it. Yeah, and I love that you appreciate it, because not everybody knows in our world about the band. There's a lot of people in comics that know about it, but not in the original art community. So I was super stoked that we were able to connect on that.
Dude, for sure. In fact, the reason I ran out of time, I had sparsed out like an hour to do this like music supervision thing, but I spent like 40 minutes listening to like hip hop tracks. So I just totally ran out of time. And so that piece like brought a lot to me, because even in my personal journey, there was a rapper that I managed, and he ended up reinventing himself in China. And the way he did it was he wore a gold kind of MF Doom mask. And he called himself hip hop man, and really took off. And so that's a story for another time. But speaking of kind of me managing rappers, I mean, you are an artist yourself. You've been part of a band for a long time. I don't have I didn't curate anything. We probably should just play something from you. So send me a song afterwards, and then send me the song afterwards, because you won't take it down. But it'll be called Creature.
We probably can't, because I've gotten flagged on our YouTube channel.
Oh no!
Yeah.
This one's special because it's an artist that I also respect a lot, and I really want to know how you pulled it off, because this is not just music now; it's a comic that you built around your music. So Matt Allison, man, I love this guy. Like, was this a commission? Was this tell us the story behind this?
This is. So my band is one of the bands I've played with is Jack the Radio. It's the main band I play with these days, but was able to commission Matt Allison, one of my favorite artists, not just indie artists, one of my favorite artists. I mean, you can see like the detail he puts in, this is all pencil and ink. I don't know that there's much of any whiteout on this, which is really impressive. Like those stars, those were white spots that he drew around. It's not adding white out, which is crazy to think about. But Matt at Heroes Con, and I'll pull up the color version too, in 2014, I think, and commissioned him to do this, and picked up some of his other art. And several years later, had the idea to create an anthology comic. So it's based on a record. The record's called Creatures. It was published by Wave Blue World out of New York. And it's a bunch of short stories based on the songs on the record. So I ended up using this art as the cover for the anthology comic.
Nice.
Yeah, man. And that's led me to doing music comics annually. So kind of like music magazine style, with articles and features and short one-page comics, kind of like the old underground comic zines. But I mean, all the work that goes in it. It is like a passion project. And it's allowed me to connect with some awesome artists over the years, and it's just amazing to be able to work with people and collaborate and create things.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's no way to count the hours. You can't logically count the hours you pour into music or comics. It's total passion, and if you start counting hours, you don't belong in it, because you have to love what you do. So, I mean, speaking of other artists that you worked with, right? That's worked on something for Jack the Radio.
Yeah, this is kind of a bonus piece. We got to do, I met, Scotty Young was another artist that I met through Heroes Con. I think the year I met him, he was thinking about the idea of moving to North Carolina and was looking for somebody to kind of like tell him about the area. And we connected online, ended up, hitting it off, hanging out, got to hang out with him in Shelton after the con. And years later, he's a huge music guy, huge hip hop guy, but huge music guy in general. Years later, we talked about working on some things, did a song for a trailer for one of his books, Middle West. And then that kind of evolved into doing a project for I Hate Fairyland books, where we created a song based on the book. And in the beginning of the book, you were able to scan a QR code to listen to the song. The first 17 pages had no dialogue, so silent. So you just listen to the song while you flip through, and then there's this phone call that happens where she's, Gert is yelling, "Shut up!" The music cuts off, and you finish the book. But was lucky enough to be able to buy the cover for that project. Love Scotty's work, just so much fun and energy. And I mean, it's Gert literally playing an axe, just rocking out.
So freaking sick, man.
Thanks for letting me sneak that in. I had to mention that one.
No, I love that one. And I don't know if it's just me, but there's like some Murder Falcon vibes going on over there with DWJ, right?
Which I think DWJ just did a variant cover for I Hate Fairyland.
Oh, wow. That's dope.
It's very fitting.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so Scotty Young, I mean, is one of the big as it gets. But another artist that you have, which I thought was amazing, is Mr. Nick Bradshaw. And not only just any cover, I felt like this is not only representative of the most successful character in the Marvel Universe, but a spin-off of one that has become probably one of the most popular, especially in the theme of music. So show us and tell us about it.
Oh, yeah. Big fan of Nick Bradshaw. I mean, the detail this guy puts into his work is absolutely incredible. I feel like when I look at his art, he's just having fun. And this is kind of the epitome of that. Not only do you get Spider-Punk, you get like a montage of Spider-Punks rocking out. And then this really cool lightning bolts in the background with the webs in the bolts and the X's. Just, I thought it was really cool, man. And it kind of works in multiple directions. I didn't think about that, but yeah, fan of his. Was stoked to be able to pick this one up.
Well, I thought it was funny because the completely blew up in the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah.
But what made you pick Bad Brains band in DC for this? Because it's so specific, right? Band in DC is also the rival company.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I just thought Bad Brains. I feel like the movie more so. He's Hobie is like super punk rock, very gritty. And I felt like Bad Brains had that vibe. But Band in DC, I love the double entendre there of like, Marvel character, not a DC character.
I love it. So the next part I want to jump into, I think now we're diving deep into music because Frank Kozik was one of the famous defining concert poster artists of the 90s, right? And me, like, again, another, rest in peace. But, how did you kind of start veering into the concert poster side, or did that start first and then you came into comics?
No, it kind of was a natural kind of gateway for me, comics as a kid, and then post college really got into doing graphic design and illustration work. Mostly out of necessity. The bands I was playing with, we didn't have money to go hire an artist to go do posters or t-shirt designs. So I just started doing them. And after some time, that turned into doing work for other artists and other bands and festivals and stuff. So really dove deep into like concert posters. I had Kozik stuff in college, hanging on my walls from concerts that I wish I had gone to. Never thought I would be able to own a Kozik piece original. I feel like not much of his work is out there. I've seen a few pieces. I think there's a couple on CAF, but I've only seen a few ever go to auction, a couple online, but very rarely do I see them. I don't know where they are. I'm very curious. But this was one sold at Heritage like 10 years ago, maybe longer.
Nice.
And our mutual friend, Dan Fleed, shot me a message. He's like, "Hey, this just popped up on CAF. Seems like something you'd be into."
That's the best, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, lifesaver. Reached out to the collector. I think he was in France, maybe. Made a pretty quick deal. He was, very reasonable and was able to pick it up and was absolutely thrilled. It's an early one, but it's still, you can still see the 90s style that was very influential to the work. It's,
Woo!
band. And so the final poster, they changed the typography a little bit. But you can see Primus also played on this bill. Mary's Danish, who I'm not as familiar with, but it's also one of like 2 posters he ever did for the Fillmore, which I thought kind of added to the cachet of it. And I've got the color. I've found a color print as well, so you can kind of see it's almost same size.
Dang. Yeah. I was really looking forward to this one because I was such a huge fan of Red Hot Chili Pepper. They are like super badass. Back then in the 90s, Kozik was kind of like the Drew Struzan of like of music poster art, right? I don't know if that's blasphemous or not in comparison, but I feel like it's a similar parallel.
Yeah, I think definitely in the sense of like he was the go-to artist, similar in a way Struzan or Bob Peak was for like film and movies. Yeah, I think it's a valid comparison.
Yeah, no, it's dope. So then, as we're in music world now, one of the events I used to go pretty much every year was South by Southwest. And recently, we've had some conversations amongst kind of industry folks that it's gotten a little bit watered down. It's not as like music driven anymore because we really used to go for music. We used to, I mean, I don't know, in hindsight, like had no business doing there, just showing up. We'll drive out there. We'll like find some random venue that'll take us up and we'll get in on these shows and we'll perform to crowds of like 12 and we'll go and pass flyers out to everyone about our albums. And in hindsight, as I'm older now, I'm like, wow, these kids, we just had too much energy and we had to like throw it out there. And so you have a straight up poster from 1995, a little before my time in music. But now, how does this? What does this piece really mean to you? Like, have you had experience in South by Southwest, etc.? Would love to hear about that.
No, I feel like musically, the bands I played with, we for years had talked about going out there. Some of my bandmates and bands that I've played with have gone out there. I've heard the same thing, man. It's a corporate event. You're gonna go do the Whole Foods day party. You're gonna go do the everything is sponsored by a corporation, so it's a different vibe. I think there's still some cool stuff that happens there, so I hope to make it at some point. But I've definitely heard it's not the same festival that it used to be. But this was one, actually did not do this on purpose. This was another one Dan Fleed clued me into on. This came from this is Jaime Hernandez, bucket list artist. Had been looking for a music related piece from Jaime just because I love the way he draws instruments. He's probably one of the best at drawing them. Not every artist gets an instrument totally correct, but he does it in just a beautiful way and like clean, and there's a simplicity to it. I think he's also one of the best at like expressions and figures. Wow. Thought this was a cool piece. Related to this, the moment of the band having a fight and the singer guitar player daydreaming about what her life could have been like. Thought that was hilarious. It came from a catalog, I think, from a gallery in Germany, maybe. And Duke somehow is on the list. He got the catalog and he clued me in, and I was able to reach out and grab this. Didn't actually know what it was for. But another great OA collector in the community helped me figure it out. He's Mark V has one of I feel like the biggest Love and Rockets collections, and he was able to find this, and then I was able to clean up and recreate based on a photograph. So this was the actual photo. You can see the ballerina portion was cut out. But what was really cool is this was for a showcase, a ASCAP. ASCAP is a performing rights organization, for those that don't know, that represents artists. But at this showcase, the presidents of the United States of America played. So you remember the song Lump or Peaches? And the Refreshments also played the showcase. This was the showcase that those two bands got their record deals at and went on to release the hits that we all know and love.
That's such a legendary story.
Another really fun connection. The last band here, Luster, is from Raleigh, North Carolina, where I'm from, and my band has actually played with that band. So just kind of fun connections, backstory, and just a really cool piece of art.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of great music stories. I mean, even in recent days, I feel like biopics of musicians have been done so right that, yeah, I think people are kind of getting back into it again because there a lot of that went missing when things became very singles driven and very
Yep.
digital driven. But I do feel like everything in the 90s is back in. So comics
Oh
are
yeah.
in, vinyl's in. I also feel like the kind of tangible things are back in. So going to
Oh,
shows is also back in. I think it's a really cool thing.
we're getting there, man. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, and so the next one we'll dive in. I think it's cool seeing these posters. One of the things I remember doing was when we were finishing an album. One of my favorite parts of it was always like listening to the songs over and over again, and then like visualizing. Right, whatever influence I was under, it helps. But the idea was I would visualize what the soundtrack of these songs would be, and so a lot of the covers we've done in the past, I would then think about a certain style, reach out to artists, and work with them on it. So, you have a piece from Garen. It's a real kind of Marvel comic built around a music festival, starring all the heroes who are actually the musicians, Dazzler, Luna Snow, from the Marvel rival. How did this one find its way into the collection?
Oh man, I love Javier Groen's work. And when I saw this cover, I was like, I got to see if this is available, if it was done traditionally. He does a lot of his work traditionally, but occasionally he'll go all digital. But sometimes, like this one, he'll do everything traditionally and then kind of he'll fill in the spot blacks digitally sometimes. Sometimes he'll do them digitally and then fill them in after the fact. This one doesn't have the spot blacks, but has some crazy detail, ton of characters. Was done traditionally. It's for a one shot. That was fun. It's I think the big thing, it was just cool to see all these characters come together. You've got the new and the old with the characters here. I feel like Luna Snow has a whole life in the Marvel Rivals, and some of the things I don't personally follow, but I know are out there and I know are have a big following. So it's cool to see all these characters. We got Dupe again playing guitar. I think Spider-Gwen's back there on the drums, as she should be, just rocking out. Shark Girl also playing drums with some water. I don't know how the physics works on that, but I thought it was cool. Yeah.
I love this piece. Aesthetically, when I saw it, I was like, this is so much energy.
Yeah.
Right? Dude,
Oh,
it's like a perfect comic cover. Whoever kind of like conceptualized it, I don't know if it was Garen himself or they were commissioning it. Like, I feel like as he dove into it, you could tell he went all out. He just felt like he was in it. He was like immersed.
Oh, yeah. And I think there was a variant that was just Dazzler that had like a Taylor Swift vibe. I think they were kind of riding that wave of like her popularity, which I think is cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Swiftie, but I still think it's cool.
Me either. I'll leave that to the wife. now, speaking of Swifty and just us drumming the songs, Gwen Stacy is the drummer in her band. Before she
Oh yeah,
a hero, and so her books also lean music. Like, I mean, the opening of the second Spider-Verse movie, they literally redid the animate that whole sequence from her first appearance, and so there's this I've paired her with an artist. I know we both kind of collect. We have pieces from Mr. Lee Garbett. So let's talk about both actually Ghost Spider number 10 and Love and Rockets number 24.
Yeah, this was a cool, and I've been a big fan of Lee's work. He's doing some amazing stuff on Daredevil right now. I know he did some great Doctor Strange stuff that you're a fan of.
Yes.
Love the Uncanny Spider-Man stuff that you've got some great art from. But just thought this was cool. I mean, it's music. It's the Mary Janes, Gwen's band. We got Loki in there. I think it was like a Loki variant, but also just a really fun homage to Love and Rockets 24. To me, one of the most classic covers. I've got the T-shirt. I think every convention I go to, I see multiple people wearing the T-shirt. I've seen DWJ wearing the T-shirt.
Wow.
Don't know that I'll ever get the opportunity to own that cover. So was thrilled, love this and love that it kind of fills that space and that energy.
Dude, this is super cool because I was wondering why like Loki was popping in, but I think after realizing it's like an homage, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I think, Lee, I feel like he's just waiting for the right book to pop. It's just a matter of time. I think Daredevil may actually be it. I'm kind of sad because I had access to that art, but I already have so much of his art that like, oh man, Lee's killing on Daredevil, and I'm missing out. But it's okay. Congrats, Lee.
I love it. I love to see it, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to see him really win a success. So on this last one, for this first episode, one of two, I do have some music that I curated and supervised. So let's dive into it real quick, and then when you feel it's the time, feel free to show us the art, and we'll talk about it. Yes. Solo. Woo! Nice, man. Oh, I went all out on that one. I had to find something of like I want to find something that started with the guitar solo because I know your pick for this, was Cole Slither. And eventually, when I got to this guitar solo, I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like jumping up and down. So I was like, "I want to find something that just starts right there." So, dude, talk about it.
Oh man, I mean, how freaking cool is this?
So sick.
I feel like I haven't seen. I don't know if Cold Slither's been in a comic book before. Maybe, probably at some point, or the Dreadnoughts with the band. But this one was a happy accident. This is by Steve Beach. This was for a one-shot, Cold Slither one-shot, as part of the Narragon universe. He ended up doing, this is the A cover, he ended up doing a variant cover that's more, it's a square shape, it's more like an album cover that's also awesome. But Steve is an artist I've been following. He's been doing stuff for Action Comics, a bunch of DC work. I think he just did a Null cover. He's been doing a bunch of G.I. Joe variants. I feel like great artist that you've probably seen his work, but maybe you don't know his name yet. But artist to remember. I believe I saw Jeff Martin just started repping him and has a few pieces for sale. But Steve is like Trad Moore. He's kind of a recluse in the sense that he has no social media other than a Tumblr page.
Wow.
He's not the easiest guy to get to, but it turns out he lives 15 minutes down the road from me, and we shared some mutual friends, and now we hang out, and he's a super cool dude to talk with. Also loves music, also loves comics. So was stoked to find out that he was doing this cover, and I had to ask him about it.
So good.
So feel really lucky to pick it up. And I mean, you can see it's another pretty large painted piece. So yeah, was stoked to be able to snag that. Yeah, and I mean, the Cold Slither song, I feel like from the cartoon is stuck in my head. If anyone knows where any of the cells from that episode are, would love to own one of those as well. But yeah, and Steve's another one. He's really good at drawing instruments. I mean, he's good at drawing everything, but like, I feel like the instruments are very accurate, very realistic, really cool to look at. Yeah, was stoked to be able to pick that up. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, man. So my brother is around 5 years older than me, and something like this, I totally remember him with his mullet, rocking this heavy metal band. It's like really like in that realm, and it really brings me back. So
That's
seeing
awesome.
even like the way Steve approached this, I'm like, dang, that thing, like, it really feels like a piece of his time. And
Oh, yeah.
and I like, yeah, it was kind of left field because I first read the text that says G.I. Joe, but when I opened it, I was like, huh? And I kind of had to like double take on what it was. And once I saw what it was, I was like, this is sick.
That's so awesome.
All right, so George, we're about to land this episode, but I always land every episode with a few things. I mean, one, folks, as you guys saw this collection, is beyond the visuals, beyond the stories, is feels, man. I think what's dope about your collection, George, is the feelings surrounding how you're collecting and the vibes with the visuals along with the music. So if you guys haven't done so yet, open up that playlist below in the comments and make sure you rewatch this episode with the vibes, with the songs that George curated. Now, George, we always want to do quick takes on the way out, so don't think too long about these answers, but I want to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, and I want to give a quick shout out to our mutual friend Kavi, also worked in the music industry, also an avid soundtrack to the comic art guy. So I wanted to shout him out for what he does too.
Yeah, he's next. He's next. I'm gonna definitely pull him into this thing. And shout out to Dude Fleet. I mean, I was kind of having this conversation on Facebook with somebody, kind of back and forth about how, like, dude, like, because he was kind of in a weird place, I guess, saying how like people don't help each other find art anymore. We used to do that, and now is people don't do. I was like, no, people still do that, man. Like, and you had 2 examples today. I have a bunch of examples. I've done it for others, so I just feel like we all go through different phases, and if you close yourself to the world, then yeah, no one's gonna do that with you. But if you open up your collection, your stories to the world, everyone will want to help you with your collection. That's why we love doing what we do. So, who are your Mount Rushmore of musicians? The top 4 artists who shape who you are?
Ooh, man. Quick answer: Tom Petty, Jack White, Jimi Hendrix.
Nice.
Oh man, I'm gonna leave somebody out. Dan Auerbach from the Black Keys. I don't know.
Okay, that's a dope Mount Rushmore. It's very. All right, one album cover you wish you designed as a designer.
Oh man. Well, one I was looking at earlier today is by Gilbert Shelton. It's the Grateful Dead Shakedown Street album cover. It's one I wish I drew, one I wish I owned, one I wish I could just see the original one day. So if anybody knows where that is, I would love to see that piece of art. But yeah.
Okay. Last one. This might be a hard one. Comics or music? If you could only keep one for life, which one would you go with?
Oh man, that's an impossible question.
That's
like if you can only see or you can only hear. Like, how do you pick one? Oh man. Well, because we're looking at comic art, I'll say comic art, but I'm gonna change my mind immediately after I say it. So,
well, it's funny the way I think about it, like if I was to answer that practically, I would say art because I'm getting too old to. I got tired from curating music. Just like it reminds me how much energy it takes to be in music, right? Like I went through 9 passports by the time I was 30. No, 4 passports by the time I was 30. In those 9 years, I was traveling, and so it was crazy. But anyways, George, we're gonna continue this because you have a whole separate side of your collecting. And folks, he is a collector who hears music and comics. Definitely check out his gallery and definitely follow Jack the Radio. And please subscribe below and share your comments. Let us know what you'd like to see, what you want to hear, and we'll see you at George Hage Part 2.
Thanks, buddy.